it's not so much that you're playing the game, it's that your opponent isn't playing the game.
Play to your strength, right? Like your strength is just like, well, I just don't want to have those moments.
You can clearly see that the developers really care about this sort of stuff.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Battle of the Inks. Today, we got someone special. It's Mr. Jonti from the Inkwell. How you doing this evening, sir?
I'm very well. My face is much bigger than yours. I feel like I should be there. Like I'm right. There we go. Let's get off.
I mean, hey, I'll just sit like this.
Oh,
this is what you want.
You
want
yeah,
this?
there we go. That's
really awkward.
Let's get into
it. Oh, how are you doing this evening, sir? You doing good?
Yes, I am. It's been a long week. Lorcana week is a long week, but it's been full of good stuff. It's been really great. Seeing the cards and all that has been fantastic. But for me, just seeing the community start to grow and creators such as ourselves starting to network a lot more, I think is awesome. I'll be honest with you, yourself and Jacob from Ready Set Draw. I like before the Hobbies and Happiness stream the other day. I wasn't particularly aware of either of you, so just having that happen and and seeing more people coming into the space and stuff. And like we were just talking off camera about be our guest, very new creator, but absolutely smashing it. Like it's awesome. It's just great. It's just great seeing everyone and seeing more people involved. And then Gen Con's around the corner, and we're all gonna see each other in real life as well. It's just great.
Yeah, for me, like I think you're number 8 now that I've done this interview with. So like I've had a lot of conversations, and every one of them has been remarkable and fun, and I can't wait to keep sharing them. But let's get
all downhill from here.
It is, right? It is
absolutely bottom out.
In case they don't know, who are we from the Inkwell, sir?
My name is Jonti. I'm from the Inkwell. When I named the channel, I didn't realize that the Inkwell was taken as a tag, so it's Lorcana_Inkwell if you want to find it. But
I know.
We do. We're a variety Lorcana channel. We do a little bit of everything. Obviously, for the last good few months, it's mostly been news coverage of releases, but now we're dipping our toes into deck techs. We're looking at just content about the game, but not the most in-depth stuff, because I'm not that good at it. I enjoy playing and I know what my limitations are. But so just lots of fun content all based around the game. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
First and foremost, never discredit yourself.
Oh, I'm my own biggest critic, man. I absolutely own biggest critic. I hate everything I do. All great artists.
You do great things. But what you need to do today, the most important thing you need to do today, is you need to not that you guys really need it, if we're being honest. You got the biggest team, but you got to be Team Green, you got to be Team Emerald, and you got to start by telling us why are you Team Emerald? As
you know, in all walks of life, whoever the noisiest group is the correct one. So just the fact that there are more people interested in emeralds should tell you why. But if you need me to go into detail, I will. For me, the thing I love about emeralds, and it's interesting because I don't enjoy this style of play in a lot of other games actually, but what I love about emerald is just that it's not so much that you're playing the game, it's that your opponent isn't playing the game. Just anytime in any game, anytime that you can make your opponent spend brain power on something that isn't their game plan, that's an advantage, and quite a large advantage in my opinion. So Emerald is all just about giving them problems to deal with that are not supplemental to what they're trying to do.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's a good pitch. So with that, let's talk about one of your problematic characters, right? Because Emerald has lots. All right, so your favorite character is Mother Gothel, and she has the wonderful name of the ability of skip the drama, stay with mama. I mean, that's got to be like top ability names in the game, right?
I'm a big fan of things that don't quite rhyme. Like you have to say drama weird to make it work.
That's fair. So why Mother Gothel?
I think she absolutely encompasses what Emerald is trying to do, like more so than any other. She's offensive. She is a god that wants to quest, wants to get you closest to your win condition, but in doing so, makes it more difficult for your opponent to do what they're trying to do. The game, let's be honest, the game boils down to a race.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it's a race. There's a lot going on, and it's more of a
it might be like like a blitz or a marathon, depending on the game.
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, you are still trying to get to an end goal before your opponent does.
Right.
And this is like racing, but putting shackles on the opponent's legs. It's literally just cutting them off from being able to do what they want to do. Yeah. Without her ability, she's probably a little understated, but just that maybe. But that ability just on its own, coupled with the 6 willpower on her, is just so strong. I think she's going to quest out, and you're most likely going to have to dump 2 cards into her.
Yeah, there's not a lot of cards that just flat trade with her, so yeah, which is great.
And there you go. All things you want. She also, if it's the sort of thing you're interested in, has a great little hidden Mickey as well. She has a really good little hidden Mickey.
All right, hold on. Let's see.
It's subtle.
Okay. Where we
at? Try to spot it?
I don't know that I can try and spot it in this angle, but you can tell me where it is.
So it's on the wall behind her, sort of
to the right,
three quarters of the way to the right.
Okay.
It's just sort of painted into the wood grain there, or
That's
the
awesome.
the
I'll
wall.
have to zoom into it later.
Yeah, it's a good little hidden Mickey. But yeah, the art itself is good. Yeah, Javier does an awesome job on it. I really like it, and her flavor text is great. Like, it's not sort of stuff I really look at with cards, honestly. Like, I'll play a.
So just to real quick, do you find yourself doing it more in Lorcana specifically?
Oh, massively so. Yeah, massively so. And I don't know. I think it's partly because you can clearly see that the developers have really care about this sort of stuff. Like,
right.
Like they really.
There's a lot of planning, right? Like across multiple people as well, which is
that's pretty crazy. But they find all these little things, like the one that it's so subtle, but the one I really like is the Duke of Wesselton. There's another Emerald card. I'm not sure he'll come up today because he's a vanilla and he's fine early game, but he's nothing really groundbreaking.
He got a cheap pot, that's fine.
Yeah, his art is he's looking at seaweed, and we think that is part of the story that's coming later. The flavor text is sorcery. I knew something strange was happening here,
dubious.
And that's just a line from the movie. Right. But the fact that they found a line that then fits, like, it's all little things like that. The fact that all of the Peter Pans get destroyed by fire the cannons, the fact that, like, just all those little bits, I just think they're just so thematic and on point. And also, just I have a lot more a much better relationship with a lot of the characters. Like, I've been playing Magic for a decade, maybe more, right. But I couldn't care less about Nissa.
You're not like Gunho Planeswalker,
never. Couldn't care less. I look at the picture's cool. What do they do? I do the same with this.
Yeah.
But once I've looked at the ability, I'll then carry on and look at all the other stuff, and I don't do that with Magic at all. I'm like, what's his ability?
Yeah. Well, I guess because you don't have like that actual like connection with the character in Magic. You have it in Disney because you've grown up with it, you've lived through it, so it's cool to see, for me, like, them in this new imagination, and I think that's what's best about it. But I digress. Our favorite item, sir, and it is DrFacilier's cards with another wonderful ability called The Cards Will Tell. What are they going to tell us? What are they telling us?
They're telling us that there are 2 items to currently pick from in Emerald, and the other one is not great. Look, I won't lie, folks. This is the exception that proves the rule, right? Like, they can't all be whammies.
Yeah.
Emerald does not have a very good item package right now.
Yeah.
What I find interesting about this one is that it's playing into actions, which is slightly better in Emerald, but still not great. Like, Emerald is a very character heavy package.
You got a lot of banger characters for sure.
And items and actions and songs, they're definitely an afterthought, I think, or not necessarily an afterthought, but it's not like every color's got its thing, right? And Emerald is that's not Emerald's thing,
right?
So I'll be honest with you, I picked that one because it's not the scimitar.
It's not the other one. Like I picked that one because I'm just not that big of an Aladdin fan.
Yeah. I don't know. I love me some Aladdin, but yeah. I won't lie. We don't have great items. Can we move on?
Yeah. All right. So we got our favorite action and our favorite song, and I'm gonna leave it up to you. You can choose which we are gonna speak about first.
We'll go left to right. So the song, Sudden Chill.
So first and foremost, this will always have a place in your heart, right?
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, that's why I picked it. Again, we only have 2 songs to choose from with Emerald. The other one being Mother Knows Best. Mother Knows Best is probably the better one on it. Like mechanically, I think it's the better one. But yeah, for those who don't know, I it was given the great pleasure of revealing that of Sudden Chill on my YouTube channel. Team Lorcana got in touch and sent that for me to show. So yeah, like it'll always have a soft spot in my heart. But then also, I'm a big multiplayer player. Like I pretty much exclusively play Commander in Magic these days.
Like more.
Say again, sorry.
Like most Magic players.
Yeah, exactly right. Like most Magic players outside of Arena. Let's be honest, you're playing you're playing Commander. So if they ever add Commander to Arena, game stores will close. like genuinely, I think it's the only thing keeping us open.
You're like a game store owner, right?
A game store manager, but
right?
I do have a boss.
You're just like, don't do that ever, man. Don't
please, Wizards, if you're listening, because I'm sure you're scaring the internet for this sort of stuff. I'm a big Commander player. But also, like more often than not these days, we always play something after work. Like we close the store up at 10 p.m. and we'll have a game or two before we go home. Yeah. And more often than not, we'll either it's Commander or a board game because there's 4 of us sat there. So like multiplayer is a big thing for me. And it is, I imagine, for a lot of people outside of the competitive scene. I genuinely think Lorcana multiplayer will possibly be the most played format outside of competitive.
So I'm like the opposite, right? Like I don't like Commander because I think that generally speaking, only one person ever gets to have fun. So, and that's kind of my, like in every game, it might be someone different, but generally it's only one person in the game. What I love about the Lorcana rules is that everyone gets to play.
Yes. I mean, that is the big thing with Commander is there's a good chance that half of the table stops playing half an hour before the other 2 do. In
a full 100% complete Lorcana multiplayer game, everyone plays.
Yeah, and it ends when one person wins.
Very interesting.
It's a subtle difference, but a game of Lorcana ends when one person wins, whereas a game of Commander ends when the other 3 people have lost.
Exactly.
And it's a very subtle difference, but I think it is one that is key.
I think it's more inviting as well.
I think just in general, I think it's going to see. I think the only thing I slightly worry about with multiplayer in Lorcana at the moment is there are clearly 2 colors that are much better for multiplayer than any others, and that's Ruby and Emerald. And because they're the ones that have.
I mean, Ursula, little Ursula. She got a little love for her.
Ursula is only good in multiplayer.
Yeah.
whereas
a lot of these Ruby cards are only good in multiplayer.
Ruby gets much better in multiplayer.
Yes.
And there's a lot of Emerald stuff, but then randomly there's what's that Amber card that everyone discards to? Like,
oh yeah,
you can build a multiplayer deck
with Mufasa on it, right? Yeah. I don't remember the name of it.
Gross. It's one of the best Emerald cards, and it's in Amber. It's like. It just like so everything has got some multiplayer support, but my worry at the minute is that like Emerald Ruby is really going to shine in multiplayer, but yeah, so sorry, the reason I say that is that's why I think Sudden Chill is really speaks to me as well, because it's just a 3-for-1 in multiplayer as opposed to being a slight tempo shift in 1v1,
and it's potentially free at very low cost for just.
Yeah, you play it and you just ink it if it's later in the game and everyone's top decking, which seems to happen a lot. You ink it and see what else you can do.
And does the theme follow through with Steal from the Rich? Are we also just really excited for this card in multiplayer, or do you think this card has some competitive life?
Yes, no, yeah, I actually do think this can see competitive play. Again, it's making what you want to do to win the game easier. That's not very well worded, but like I want to put characters out and quest with them because that's what wins.
Yeah.
This says, well, if you're doing that anyway,
yeah. ...
I
think this card printed in any other ink except for Ruby would be a lot worse.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's in Emerald, or if it was in Ruby because of your evasive package,
yes,
like you're gonna have guys in play if you want them, so like you get extra bonus. Like now your guys just read like, okay, I'm gonna get my Lord that I'm gonna get for my 1 or 2, and then I'm gonna take some for me too.
And then I'm gonna take some back as well. I think this definitely goes in an evasive deck. I think I think it probably sees playing most Emerald packages just because.
I mean, it is what, a 5 cost uninkable, so like
and that's the only thing really. But it's a little pricey. And it's not.
I would have liked if this was like somehow segued into a song. I think this would have been a really, really good song to have. And because honestly, even if you really think about it, like the cost of playing it as a song would have been exerting one of the characters that you would have used to steal. So I think that like when you really like consider it, like it would have been okay. I think it would have been an okay choice.
Chances are your 5-costed character has probably got 2 lore,
and
you're not gaining 1 from that card itself, so it's costing you 3 lore to sing it. I think that would have been perfectly acceptable. But even still, as it stands, I think it goes in a basic package. Emerald in general is very much a color that says, I'm going to quest. You do something about it. That's right. So it's exactly. I'm going to quest. You have to deal with it, but you're not going to like it. Which I think we'll see from the cards we're going to see in a minute. So this card it's the sprinkle. It's the cherry on the sundae. It's just maybe it's a little win more, but I just think it's a solid.
I think that's something that we'll have to figure out. But I totally agree. I think at face value, like right now, I'm playing this card until like I proves that it is 1 more, and like it's been more, and I don't need it. I'm playing that card. I need to fully evaluate and understand how good or what the potential of it is. I think. All right, for your combination, you got a 2 and a 3 cost annoyingness, right? Like that's all these guys are, right? They're just
One thing I will say about the Emerald package at the moment is there isn't many like combos in like as in one card is really helping another card.
Right.
It's just lots of cards that kind of do a very similar thing, which is
a lot of synergistic opportunity.
They kind of come out, they quest, do something about it, and that's various in Cruella de Vil here. If she's only gaining 1 lore each turn, but she can come down pretty early and just keep chipping away at the lore total. And then when you finally do something about her, it's a tempo shift. And then
and it's nice because like she doesn't die to like fire the cannons, which
doesn't die to cannons, doesn't die to a swords on
like
its
a
own.
Single grab your sword, So it's not negligible, right? Like it's gonna be there until it's not. So
and then Cheshire Cat again, very similar. Just it's a little better, really. It's going for 2, and again, it needs to be dealt with, and then it's Death Touch basically. So, Cusco and Flynn Rider and Jasper, is it? I could never get Horace and Jasper mixed up. Like again, they're the other. They're the other 3 that are all, again, it's all very similar kind of thing. It's just, we're just going to come down. They're perfectly acceptably statted. Nothing's really insane as far as stats goes, but none of them really suffer from their abilities. And then they're just going to quest and you worry about it.
What I really enjoy about your line is that we almost just crafted a deck, in all honesty. Like the 3 cards you just named, the first character, the item, like this whole thing could just straight up be maybe not the item, but that's all right. We'll just
not much I can do about that. You asked. I genuinely on the send a little form out that you fill in, and genuinely on the like favorite item I wrote not applicable. And I was like, no, I better do something, and got rid of it.
No, it's okay. We would have worked with it.
the other thing I really enjoy with card games, and again, it might be because I'm a little smooth brained and I'm not great at the combo of plays, but I try and build decks where no matter what I draw and no matter when I draw it, I'm gonna see some value out of it.
Okay, so you just like you're like, I don't like dead draws.
Yeah, I mean, who does really? But like,
No,
I
yeah.
genuinely try and structure decks around it. Like my most recent Magic deck in Standard was a Soldiers typal deck, and every card, there was nothing over 3 cost, and it was just every card came down. Everything was a soldier, and everything did something for soldiers. And it was like, this one, all the soldiers get +1. This one, if you've got 2 soldiers, you draw. This one, if you've got 5 soldiers, they fly. Like it was all just stuff like that. It was crazy, yeah. Somehow. But that was, and it was like I never felt like everything was cheap and everything would always help. Like it was just the deck was greater than the sum of its parts,
right?
And I kind of feel like Emerald has got that a little bit as well. I think like Amethyst and Amber both kind of have that feel a little bit as well. But I'm not like I kind of hate the idea of drawing a Sorcerer Mickey and having no brooms.
Sure.
Or you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. I really don't love the idea of building a deck around having to go digging for a certain 1 or 2 pieces of a combo. I would much rather just every day be Christmas.
And that's just a deck designer's choice, which is like play to your strength, right? Like your strength is just like, well, I just don't want to have those moments. Like you're just like, my deck is consistent, and hopefully the consistency.
Yes, I massively value consistency more than I don't know. I don't even know what the opposite would be.
We'll think of it later.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I don't want to sound detrimental and say like we'll lucky draws. It's not. You know, the opposite isn't just being lucky and grabbing the bits you need. You know, it's finding the consistency through the way of getting through your deck, right? And if Lorcana ever starts seeing tutoring effects where you can go looking for cards, then this probably shifts a lot. It's coming. It might not be for a year or 2.
No.
It's
anyway,
coming.
Moving on. We're not even going to continue that conversation. Which inks are we pairing Emerald with? What are you loving right now?
I think Emerald Steel is pretty good.
Okay.
I think Emerald Steel is pretty good in the fact that Steel kind of goes with anything. Honestly, Steel has just got
good because Steel's good.
Yeah, Steel just has a really good support package. You know, it's got some of the best targeted removal. It's got some of the best it's got like one of the 2 area of effect damage spells in the game. You know, it's got some big bomby stuff. It's got a little bit of everything. So I think Emerald Steel is good in as much that just Steel goes well with everything. Emerald Ruby Evasive, I think, is very playable. You know, and I think of the 3 starter decks, I actually think it's probably the most consistent of the 3 at the minute.
Yeah.
You get a couple of those Pongos online, and it's
Pongos. I mean, in limited, Pongos real good.
Yeah. So yeah, I think probably that, and again, maybe Emerald Amethyst. But again, just because Amethyst has the card draw and and other stuff as well, it's arguably just because it's a good color as opposed to it necessarily working very well with Emerald. But there's probably an Emerald Amethyst villains that could work. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Like the Emerald Ruby Evasive package makes sense, but like the package that we're talking about in this, in your scheme, that doesn't really mesh with anything. You're more or less just looking for things to complement your strategy.
And or just like good stuff, right? Like give me some card draw.
Right, Amethyst is just I'll just draw my cards more often, or Steel is just I'll utilize this removal to keep my awesome dudes in play and make them more annoying.
Exactly. I mean, saying that, I don't think ramp is as important with this package. So
basically mellow out at 6 realistically.
Right? The very top end of the deck is Mother Gothel and Mad Hatter, even 5 and 6,
and John Silver. Yeah. And they're just all 6, right?
Yeah. So ramp isn't particularly strong, so I don't necessarily feel like Sapphire adds much to it. I'm hearing people talk about a Stitch deck that's Amber Emerald, but it doesn't play anything that we've just talked about.
Yeah, no,
I don't think so. So yeah,
that's where the Duke comes in.
There you go. That's where Duke and Megara are going, I guess. Yeah,
we full circled it. All right, so this is the most important part, right? You just told everybody why you love, right? You love it. You love Team Emerald. You're all about it. But now it's your turn. It's your turn to convince. All right, I'm going to give you the floor. It's going to be all you, and you're going to have whatever time you need.
Okay,
not too long. Let's be real. But
sure.
Your job is to convince the community why they should be Team Emerald. Why should they join the other 9 content creators that are already on that list?
Not is really that many? Wow,
10.
10?
10.
Oh, I don't feel very trendy now. I feel like I want to go and pick a different color. Who's got the least? Is it still Sapphire?
No, Sapphire is not. It's Amber now. Amber is the least.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's the worst color. Okay, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my name is Jonti from the Inkwell, and over the next 3 hours, I'm going to explain to you. Look, the reason Emerald is the best color in, I don't want to say strongest because that's technically not so subjective. The reason why Emerald is the best color in the game is very simple. The best way to win a game is to stop your opponent playing it. Lorcana and Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Digimon and Flesh and Blood and Battle Spirits Saga and the World of Warcraft trading card game and Duel Masters. And I could go on. And all of the trading card games, they're very easy when you don't have somebody sitting opposite you bothering you. and that's what Emerald lets you do. It lets you stop your opponent doing stuff by bouncing stuff back, by making them discard their hand. And if they are going to do something, it's having to deal with what you're doing on your side of the board. You're playing solitaire, and if they want to do something about it, that's up to them, but they're going to not enjoy doing so. As my good friend Dan from Hobbies and Happiness says, fun is a zero-sum game, and I'm having all of it.
I love it, and it's pretty factual. It is pretty factual. I think the one thing that really stands out for Team Emerald is that nothing is really flashy, right?
Yeah, it's again, I think that's why it speaks to me. Like, there's no obvious bomb in the color.
Right.
It doesn't
there is
have
no
its
Tinkerbell.
It doesn't have its giant tink.
There's no
it doesn't
bell.
have its
there's no bells everywhere, right? It's just bell.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't have that. And also, I'm also being a bit practical with it as well, because your giant tinks and your bells are going to be $100 cards.
Yeah, facts.
On the singles market.
It's not even close.
Maybe even more. Who knows?
For a
whereas
bit.
I'm running play sets of Finn Rider uncommon, Mad Hatter uncommon, Cheshire Cat uncommon. I think like it's insane. All of these, none of them are absolutely breaking the game, but they're just it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. They're all just sitting there and they're all just chipping and just overwhelming the opponent. That's why I think I enjoy it. I think I can build a pretty solid deck for the cost of one of these giant tinks, probably. As much as I love giant tink, probably outside of Emerald, probably my favorite card in the set. But yeah, still, it's just gonna be a nightmare to get a play set off.
And that's honestly, that's what you should have went with, right? You should have been like, this is the budget deck.
All right, let's go again.
Very, very fair. Well, I had an amazing time hanging out with you, sir. It's been a lot of fun. And of course, let's remind everybody one more time, where can they find you?
You can, what's it say? You can hit that like button. You can click subscribe here, of course. And once you're done, watch the end roll ad because it really helps. Once you're done with that, you can head over to Lorcana_Inkwell on YouTube and on Twitter. I hang around a lot behind bingo halls and also in the Lorcana HQ Discord as well. I'm there quite a lot as well. And if you're in Gen Con, I'll be there. Please don't approach me. I'm far too famous.
was not ready for that. What a way to end it, guys.
But in all seriousness, the Lorcana HQ Discord, they're doing a meetup on the Thursday, and I'll be there for that. So
and it says that there's 100 tickets. It's not true. Just show up. We're gonna let you in.
I'm just showing up. Yeah, I can't. It won't let me book a ticket because the event technically runs till 11. And I have an escape room at 10 p.m. And Gen Con won't let you cross over time. So I don't have a ticket. I'm just rocking up.
I only have one because Scott got me one.
But yeah, I've got that's gonna be a busy day. So we're gonna get to Gen Con, we're gonna go and we're gonna try and get some products, do the whole lineup thing, right?
We're gonna try, right?
We'll give it a go.
Now, so as of recording today, we found out we can buy booster boxes.
This is true, which is insane.
Exuberant, right? Like I can't.
Cartwheels. I'm gonna do cartwheels. I thought we'd get a gift set with like a alternate cover on it or something. Yeah,
I was going Trove at best.
Yeah. So we get booster boxes. Didn't even get Trove. Well, they're all going to Walmart. So we get booster boxes. So we got to line up. We got to try and get that. Then I've got a thing where have you seen those big bikes where you ride the bicycles around the town, but there's like 20 of you riding it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you have some beers.
Oh yeah. At what time?
Oh, like 3 p.m. Like getting on it.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Lorcana meetup and then an escape room at 10 p.m., which is insane, but we'll see.
All right. So all I heard was Jonti found an excuse to escape from the Lorcana. That's all I got. That's
exactly.
That's the whole story of this entire interview.
Gotta go.
Escaping.
I've got to escape.
All right. Seriously, though, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Jonti, thank you for joining me. It was a blast. I cannot wait to meet you in person at Gen Con next week, but I won't approach you. I'll let you approach me, I guess, so you don't get
I will come over and I will give you a hearty handshake.
All right.
I keep getting people tell me they want to hug me, and I'm like, oh, I'm not a hug dude. Like,
so that's cool. You're not a hugger. Now I know, right? Now I know. I'm a hugger, though. So if anyone
my mom gets one on her birthday, and that's it.
You know what? That's love. That's love, though. That's love.
I'll give you a hearty handshake. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
All right. See you guys later, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.